It's Tuesday on Your View, and I am Ochanya Afolabi Brown today. As always, I have the ladies with me. How you doing, madam?
Hello,
What's
good
your name
morning.
today?
My name remains Yenya Nicola Kuti.
Where are you from today?
But I'm from Rivers State
You're
today.
from River State,
Yes.
fantastic. I'm from Benue State, the Idoma people, to be precise. Elijah, what are you today?
I'm trying to get the name of the designer. She did perfect.
Well, no, I'm sure her name.
My own is very tough to get, so I think I'm not central. And I love it. It's nice. Thank you so much. Hijab to...
And where are you from, madam?
I am Igbo.
Modern Igbo.
Yeah, okay.
You're Bendel.
Okay, I'm Bendel. I'm Igbo. I'm Nigerian.
Bende Ibu.
So how are you doing, Waiki? What's up with you?
I'm fine. I'm going to a wedding today, and the wedding
nice.
is Rivers.
Coincidentally,
they're from.
it matches what we are doing today.
Yes, so
Perfect.
I'm very happy and about that. That I'm compliant today, because I'm always never compliant with you guys.
Hardly ever.
Rebellious.
Emefiele
Yeah, your
is
friend.
in the news again.
You like this your guy.
Well, I mean, I was watching this morning yesterday. Then they just canceled the thing.
conference.
They just said here that Emefiele, they have accused him of being a terrorist. How can he be a terrorist and travel with the president? And I say, hey,
Well, it's in the
now I
papers.
put my ear down. I say,
Waiki, you like Jesus. There are two sides to every story. So one person has made an accusation, allegation. Let's hear from the other side before we now start getting excited.
but in the papers today,
Yes.
We'll talk about it in the papers. How you doing, Liv? What's up? Anything interesting?
No, Babs is interesting. I said I love my dress. I don't have anything.
Okay, I'm
Anu
happy. You
Babs.
see, satisfied. Nothing beats the joy of a satisfied customer.
I'm telling
I'm
you.
happy that
you actually look really
Yeah.
beautiful.
Thank you. Okay. Zibi, are you watching?
Is anything happening? How you doing, Mariam? Anything happening midweek?
Nothing happened. We're just waiting for Christmas, aren't we all?
Yeah, I'm waiting for because our
Countdown to
this is our last
Christmas.
week of
Are
the
you
year.
excited to see
Yes.
Hamilton?
So this morning driving in, I just realized the fog was mostly around here. There wasn't some, like, I cannot imagine what those in Jos are going through right now because it was quite heavy. But interesting story. My daughter was Mary in the school, in her Christmas school
Oh,
play.
nice.
And there she was, one particular scene, she comes out with a big belly. I felt very uncomfortable. I didn't like it at all.
Why is my daughter
And
the
she
one
was
with the big
holding
belly?
herself like, I'm like, no. But, you know.
All right, let's go straight into the papers because we have run out of time to this morning. Let's start with The Nation. Workers to get better deal, Tinubu assures NLC and TUC. Civil societies to UFCC shun politics. Petrol scarcity persists as motorists groan. Obi's campaign DG jailed 2 years for money laundering. How we stop vote buying by Inspector General and INEC. Bandits kill 28 in southern Kaduna. Okay, which story are we starting with? Please.
For APC, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu yesterday met with organized labor at the Chida Hotel Conference Center for a town hall meeting. And the session was really about dissecting, the plan, the Tinubu Shettima Action Plan for a better Nigeria. And he says that in his speech to them, he said that his administration will make fiscal and monetary policies to work for workers, and also urging that the organized labor should pitch their tent with him. He says he has a track record of good governance. There's something he says here that I found quite interesting. He said that he compared himself with, his contenders. He says that he has a track record of making Lagos, the state that it is, one of the biggest economies in Africa. And he talked about and compared, he said his track record compared to someone who was just vice president, or compared to someone who, instead of investing the state's resources, in their infrastructure, buried it in the sand. And so he said that they should look through the track records, and he stands out, compared to his contenders.
All right, let's take a few more stories.
Okay, so the DG of this campaign, Dr. Doyin Okupe, yesterday was convicted of money laundering, deals that breached the Money Laundering Act. So He had a 59 counts charge under which he was charged to court, but the court found him guilty of only 26 of the 59, which bordered around money laundering, in which he received money in excess of 5 million on each transaction from the office of the NSA under Colonel Sambo Dasuki at the time. But she found him not guilty of all other counts that, bordered around
Corruption.
corruption as well. This is also corruption, money laundering, criminal breach of trust, and corruption and all of that, because this EFCC was unable to sustain the charge. They did not have enough evidence to sustain that charge. And then the court gave him an option of fine, 500,000 naira per charge that he was found guilty of.
Right.
We totaled about 13 million, which he paid.
He has paid.
Some people are now arguing that he's not a convict because he was able to pay the fine. The payment of fine does not absorb a person of being a convict. What he was only able to escape is being a prisoner. So he never went to jail for this.
And there was show at I watched it when
The lawyer?
they wanted to take him. And the lawyer said, he has till 4:30, leave him. He has till 4:30.
I love that his wife, I love his wife and son. I love his wife's speech. At least somebody believes in him and stood by him even in...
Fantastic. So petrol scarcity persists as motorists grow. And so I took that story. We've been going back and forth on what the cause is and everything. Right now, Ipman is insisting that this will continue if NNPCL don't do two things. One of which are the two are there must be equity in the allocation. So when they bring it in, they must ensure that all the marketers get it equitably, and also urge them to improve the PMS on importation. I'm not sure what that means when you say improve importation, but obviously NNPC is the one bringing the crude from abroad, and then is then handed over or sold or distributed to the various marketers and for the mothership to the daughtership. We thought initially it was because of the cost of getting it, but now Ipman is saying that much more issues, but there's no equity in the allocation. So they're also asking that NNPC must ensure equity for them to have, so sort of the scarcity that we have, or that is persisting right now, can stop as soon as possible. If you recall, NNPC is still insisting that they are pegging the cost of petrol at 165, which is, they are insisting that it's not achievable. It has to be at least 200 and something, at 210,000 naira to the liter.
I'm just surprised because, they have been issuing all kinds of threats to the marketers.
Yes.
Me, I don't mind but if you're going to issue threats, make sure that you are powerful enough to implement these threats. Don't just be posting us.
Let's move on to the Punch quickly. Rising attacks, vote buying, threaten polls. INEC cries out. My husband confessed to oral sex with my niece, doctor's wife. Federal government plans 2.4 billion naira rehab centers for repentant motorists. Protest as Lagos policemen enforcing ban, kill motorcyclists. Court stops the Emefiele's arrest, groups back CBN governor. Naira redesign will affect poor Nigerians, says World Bank. FG begins 11 power projects, plans 3,750 megawatts generation. And Air Force battles Zamfara terrorists, 50 bandits, soldiers killed. Okay, what's human interest? You have the human interest story?
Nima has the human interest story.
Oh, okay. You go with the Emefiele story first.
Okay. So a federal high court in Abuja has stopped the Department of State Services from arresting the governor of Central Bank, Godwin Emefiele, over allegations bordering on financing terrorism and fraudulent activities. So our CBN
so excited over this.
How do you like this kind of
has
story?
been accused,
Thank you. Why do you like this?
fraudulent activities and terrorist acts.
It's not yet proven.
I say it's inside court. It's not me. It's inside the paper that I'm even reading it. Verbatim. Verbatim.
Yeah.
So, but the court refused to grant SSS, the DSS, the request, saying that in light of the foregoing reasons, I decline to grant this application ex parte if the applicant believes that the evidence available to it is sufficient, then go and arrest the person. Why are you bringing it to me? You bring it to me. And, well, as we all know, or at least Morayo knows, that a protest group came out yesterday to say that this is not fair, that this is untrue, that they are the ones they have things to hide. That is why they are accusing the central bank because of this money, this money thing that he
This
has.
is, yeah, the change of money and the
It's
limitations.
the limitations. It's them that are the ones doing the.
Okay.
And they even actually called for the sack of the DSS Oga.
This is a serious charge. Also.
Yeah, let's go on a break. When we come back, we continue with our review.
It's heavy, oh.
It is.
But we are just taking it like.
And this is what we're
Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We are still reviewing Punch. Yes, Mariam? Or Nima?
Okay, yes. Okay, Naira redesign. So the World Bank is saying that the newly redesigned Naira has gone into circulation may have negative effect on our economic activity, and it would especially affect those who are economically vulnerable, like the poor in our communities. They say especially small businesses and those who do day-to-day cash. They said that it is commendable, the cashless policy that we're trying to, run, and it shows that it's time for the redesign of the Naira, because this is what's done internationally. And we have taken almost 2 decades before this redesign, but that the timing and the execution is just not right. They said that there's so many things that Nigerians are facing right now, and so this added pressure to Nigerians. It says that we have high inflation compounded by external food and fuel price shocks, and then the severe floods that we faced just a few months ago, and then to add this on top of everything is just too much for Nigerians. And yeah, that was just the opinion. I agree as well. I feel that maybe there has to be a way that would do this. And we also talked about awareness. There are so many Nigerians who obviously are not aware that there's.
Did you see that video of that woman rejecting the money? And have you seen the money? I saw the money, and I mean, it looks like washed up old.
Copy of the Also, the fake counterfeit video was trending, and it's so annoying.
Yeah, we saw that too.
Because the security features in the new notes is not so far from the old notes, so it's easy to start messing with it. But I have the story of Dr. Femi Olaleye, the owner of the Optimal Cancer Care Foundation. And yesterday, his wife, Mrs. Aderemi Olaleye, entered the witness box against a case where he's being prosecuted, and she narrated how a 15-year-old niece was abused by the doctor. He started by grooming her from 2020 so she moved in with them 2019 after her guardian died. And by 2020 March, he had started to groom her, introduce her to pornography, oral sex, as well as eventually defiling her and committing sexual assault against her by penetration. And she gave gory details including of how she was drugged, sedated by the doctor every evening, because most times when it happened, she would sleep off. She would not have details. She would wake up and she would not know something of such had happened. And that the driver at one point also had witnessed the girl vomiting sperm. And it was post such of it that she never found out. But at one time when the maid in the house complained of the girl's rudeness, she beat the girl. The video of that was played in court yesterday. She gave details that after the beating, the doctor was upset about it. He moved the girl to her auntie's house. And at that point, the girl opened up about everything that had happened in that house. And, so the court adjourned till till next year. December 21 to continue trial. So
this is serious.
I'm happy the trial has started, which is at least hopefully justice will be served. Moving on now to Daily Sun. Police tighten news on vote buyers. Ohaneze alleges incitement of North against Igbo. PDP crisis will soon be over, says Otom. Which story? Who has the major headline?
Police to deploy X-squad intelligence officers, investigators to arrest vote buyers. So the Nigerian police is saying that they're going to make sure that vote buying and vote buyers are apprehended during this period. That you're making sure that they're going to work with their sister agencies to protect our votes. They said that they'll do everything to make sure that this is minimized to the barest minimum. They said also they will be on the roads to watch out for politicians that may be driving around with cash in their car during those periods, because that is, that's how they pay, that's what they use to pay for the votes buying. So it's good that they're having these conversations. They seem to know exactly what the style is, and they're going to put people on ground to protect our votes. And yes, we'll see how this goes.
Okay, I've been monitoring. You have a story,
Go on.
I've been monitoring the PDP crisis. So, Governor Otom of Benue State was assuring members of the PDP stakeholders in Benue State that the lingering crisis will soon be over, according to him, though there are issues still confronting the party at the national level. But he's happy that the state levels are stronger and together and they're united towards the general elections. He explained that the stakeholders meeting was to ensure that the party strategizes in preparation for the coming elections. He also talked about the Speaker of the House of Assembly, which is Mr. Titus Oba, who has been ill for some time, and he's saying that the man will be back, that he's been recuperating very well, and he'll be back in high spirits, and hopefully after the holidays he'll be back in the country. So this is an interesting feedback or an interesting insight, because the crisis within the PDP has lingered for too long, and for the Benue State Governor, who is one of the G5, who have been pioneering this issue, this division they've had for a while, is assuring his members that the lingering crisis will be over, and that's good news for members of the PDP.
So the Ohanese Indigbo have accused some unnamed politicians and their agents of trying to instigate the North against the Igbo. And they are accusing them. Some Northerners had said there were 100 Northerners were killed in Southeast in 1 week, in the last 1 week, sorry. And this was from the coordinator of the Northern Consensus Forum, Dr. Awal Abdullahi Aliyu. And he says the Hawaiian is a lie from the pit of hell. That's, he says they have accused the IPOB and that this is not true. And they have also declared a 3-day warning strike due to the constant killing of Northerners in the Southeast. Anyways, what they're trying to say is they're trying to just cause division. And this is not true.
Vanguard quickly, governors out to ruin 2023 polls by choking opposition, says IPAC. Court rejects DSS bid to arrest and detain Emefiele. Diversification, progressive governors canvass legislative framework. Maritime workers threaten to shut nation's ports. Marketers seek subsidy on diesel to lower petrol price. Yuletide, Greater Lagos Fiesta to entertain Lagosians, says government. Alleged killing of 100 Northerners in Southeast is live on the pit of hell, says Ohanes Ndigbo. Bandits killed 28 in Kaduna, security personnel. Terrorists killed in Zamfara ambush. Okay, which story are we starting with?
Okay, so let me take maritime workers. So, according to the union, the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria, MWUN, the National Executive Council yesterday, the President General spoke, Prince Adejobi, and they talked about a subtle threat, asking the federal government to compel international oil companies in Nigeria to allow dock workers into their companies. He said that there's a marine notice 106 of 2014 that they must allow stevedoring companies to deploy dock workers into their platform to avoid arrest. They said that, and stevedoring work includes dock labor, employers, private operators of any work location, including ports, jetties, onshore and offshore oil and gas or bonded terminals, inland container depots, and off-dock terminal, dry ports, and platform. And they said that this companies does not exempt the international oil companies, and they must also conform with the law, or else they might, prevent port operations from going smoothly.
Yes.
I hope that they quickly attend to it, because these are the core of our economy.
Yeah. Bandits and several terrorists and sadly some Nigerian army personnel have been feared killed following an ambush by armed terrorists in Zamfara on Sunday. They said the incident happened when the our army received a distress call from the village in Malele in Zamfara State. They said that many of the bandits were coming in from different camps from Zamfara, Katsina, Niger, and Kaduna State. And then when they got into their communities, they sent a distress call. The military stormed the villages, and they said their presence really helped in causing the bandits to flee. Unfortunately, they also set 3 of the trucks, the military trucks, on fire. But there's no official statement from government yet concerning the attack. This is based on eyewitness accounts.
And in the same story, there was the Plateau woman. I thought that we should take that story because she was kidnapped. She was on her way to, I think, Makurdi, and she was asleep when the bandits stopped the car. And they took all their phones, all of them in the bus, and 4 of them they told to get down and walk with them. And they walked for miles in the forest. And she kept saying to her, she was the only woman, she kept saying to that there are only 4, because there were 9 kidnappers. 4 fell by the wayside. I mean, 5 fell by the way, stopped and maybe went somewhere else. And they continued. So anyway, she fought them. She received injuries because she jumped on the one with the guns. Then the other kidnappers helped. Anyway, they rescued them in the end. It was. I would love to have expatiated on the story, but we have no time.
That's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, we want to our hot topic of the day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So December 15th was a date the new Naira notes were launched. Many Nigerians were talking about going to the banks and having to receive the new Naira notes, although some had complained that enough wasn't disbursed across banks across the country, so they were unable to get the new Naira notes. Although banks have assured and reassured customers that more of these Naira notes, new Naira notes, will be distributed. However, there have been reports about counterfeiting, possible counterfeiting. There have been reports about people rejecting the notes. There's been reports about people insisting on accepting only the old notes. Others are insisting on only taking the new notes. Those who are aware are not even accepting the old notes anymore. So there's a bit of confusion out there on these new notes. We'd like to hear Nigerians' views on it because many of you are experiencing it. And if you know somebody who's experienced it, we'd like you to call in to tell us what your experiences are so that our government officials can see and get some kind of feedback from us based on this new launch. Sometimes government feels they've done something good, but sometimes the feedback from the horse's mouth is always better so that you know how we can there can be a review. So call us on the numbers on 081-270-53687, 09139076948. You can tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your view TVC so we can read your tweet. What have been your experiences when receiving the new notes? What are the reports you're hearing out there? We'd like to hear your thoughts on it. Let me start with the ladies. What have you heard? Amia, do you have any copy with you? Have you received any?
No, I saw one.
You saw? Did you receive it or
No,
just?
no, no.
Okay, you just saw
So
something.
a friend withdrew the notes and I saw it and I really, letting up like I was biased because I already had the mindset about it, but I just didn't feel. I felt it was a bit weaker. So I told my friend that this is probably why they don't want to dispense at ATMs. 3 dispense of this particular note with this kind of quality, you go down the tier. I don't think it has the quality of durability. This particular new
And that's
note.
one characteristic of money,
Money,
durability.
it has to be durable. Then I also think that, it was just a copy and paste
Yeah, it was.
of the old note. I looked at the security features and I didn't spot a difference, at least not immediately. Maybe I need to use my son's whatever lens to look at it properly, but I don't see. The old note still has more quality, durability, has all the features that a Naira note should have, or any note anywhere in the world should have than this one. I think that, for something that requires thinking, it did not meet up already. people are rejecting it.
Interesting that you should say that about the quality compared to the last one, because, you know, one of the things that was celebrated is the fact that we printed our money.
It was printed
Yes,
here?
it was printed here. So that's something that was celebrated. So is this a Nigerian thing where we give ourselves less quality, or we do not have the infrastructure or the equipment to give, you know, better quality than what we have? But there seems to be a lot of, you know, backlash. And for me, what really stands out, the design aside, you know, everybody has their preferences. But for me, it's the fact that there seems to be quite a number of Nigerians that are unaware of this new money. And the question is, why is it so hard to pass a message to all Nigerians when we make these policies and we reel out these things and we say it on our TVs and put it on the newspaper? Do we think that is enough? We understand the complexity of Nigeria. We understand the huge gap between our educated and uneducated, those who are exposed, those who have access to some of this, you know, to media. They're just quite a huge, wide range. And Nigerians, our leaders, need to be able to put that into consideration when they're thinking about raising awareness. You have to go to the grassroots. It's not enough to be on TV or just engage those on social media. We have millions of Nigerians who are not engaging on social media. How can someone, a person who is involved in using cash day to day, running her day-to-day business, not be aware of a change, you know, in money? And this is not just one scenario. So I think that, and this is not just about this money, it's about a lot of things we've seen recently, even with COVID. We just realized that we're not doing enough when it comes to raising awareness to important policies.
The thing is, normally, if you're going to change money, you have a few months.
Yeah, we have to the end of January. People are just overdoing this thing.
No, but from the time you change the money, it's 15th of December to 30th of January. That's not enough time. Look, they're changing the pound, the 50 pound, I think, in England. They're changing it. They have given people enough time by next year.
So it's almost like a year?
Almost like a year, or even over a year's gap, so that you have enough time, you will know. Even if you are someone that doesn't stay there, you will know when you come there that this. So there is that gap. It's too short.
Thank you for bringing that up, YK. You just reminded me of something, because when I traveled, remember I was having that same issue in the UK. So this information thing that Miriam talked about, my response to you was that sometimes this thing takes time. It's going to be, it just happened 5 days. It's like just 5 days ago, December 5th. When I went to the UK, they told me, the news was like, I think it was end of September, until they stopped taking the old note. And some stores already started rejecting it. And I went to the bank, I said, guys, they're not taking it from me. He said, that's not right. Tell them that it's till the end of September. They have no right not to collect this note. And some stores just refuse, because in their mind, they've changed the note. I can't take the old note anymore. And they refuse to collect my old notes. So sometimes information takes time to get around to everybody, because it's happened exactly in the same UK that it happened to me. This is not story. So it's been 5 days. Should we just cut government some slack in this situation?
Well, one of the things about notes, again, one of the qualities of notes is acceptability amongst the people. And so what Miriam is saying is at the very core of the issue. If a market woman in Mushin says, I don't want to have this washed, that looks like a stained copy of the old note, that means the CBN is sitting
it kind of looks fake. The difference is not significant enough to say
already. You know, even on the old notes, you need to know the security features to escape being given a fake one. And on this one that already looks like a washed copy or a stained copy of the old one, people who don't know better will say, I would rather just be safe than sorry. And so accessibility is now wahala for us. The CBN's business is not just making policy and distributing these notes. The CBN's business is to ensure that the people understand and accept this note. So, for instance, now that we have the issue of the fake already in our faces, can we have jingles saying, these are the security features?
You do. I've heard one.
No,
I have heard a jingle on the new notes.
On the security features. This matter that the video just trended this weekend. It should already CBN should be on it immediately to address it, so that every market woman that even does not have a TV station can have a radio station around that. They can have market jingles awareness happening in every interior. People must accept the note before the January deadline that they gave.
My own is
and
this.
I doubt that it will reach there.
My own is this. Because I saw one of the 1,000 naira notes. I think, and that's the only one I think people have even seen. Nobody has seen the 500 or the 200. We have seen. Now, my own is that you called it redesigning. What you did was recoloring. I beg, say na English we not speak. Ni. If we have recolored the money.
Simple.
Simple. People will even hear. When you say redesign, because if
the wording, very important.
Very important.
Because that market woman I had recoloring. Maybe it will have clicked better.
We have changed
We have changed the color. That's
Don't
one.
change.
Gotcha. That's an important point. If you tell us you are changing the color, people, it sinks easier because they see this and are wondering, maybe they say they changed. This cannot be the new
can
one.
never be.
So, okay, that's another perspective.
Because I saw it, it looked fake. I saw it, I preferred the old one. I saw it, it was just a faded version of the old one.
It seemed I brought out my children's piggy bank yesterday and I wanted to change it.
I keep forgetting. Piggy bank.
Because I opened it too, and they had new, because they keep new notes. In comparison, it's not there. It's not good. It's not good.
You've not seen it now.
I've seen it.
Oh, okay. I've not seen it.
And you know, now there's a rush for it. So banks are limiting the amount of new notes they'll give you compared to the old notes. For now, just to address people that rushed, immediately they said it has started. So they're giving you, if you want to withdraw 10, you get 2,000 naira of the new notes compared to, because it's still limited in circulation. And then the deadline is January 30th. They should shift it.
We're going to something.
No, I was just going to say that we need to do, I need to understand the process that it takes to redesign a Naira note. First of all, you remember it came as a bit of a shock even to our Minister for Finance. She wasn't even aware that that redesign was happening. So it seemed like it was something that was done hurriedly. So is there like a design team, a group of people sit down and design it? And was there another group that vetted and thought this is right? Or was it
Why
done
is that
in
important
such
to
a
you,
hurry?
Mariam? Because you didn't hear about that when they did the first redesign. This last one.
Yeah, but it was worth it.
Yeah,
but here, we need to know who failed.
But you
We need to know
you
who
didn't
made the mistake. We need to understand, was it equipment? Like I mentioned, Nigeria.
it wasn't a
They said,
mistake.
why, who is the person that stamped it and said, this is correct, this is the better version of what we already
Yeah,
have?
we need to speak to that person on your view because you're right. It's not the difference is not significant enough. So Nigerians obviously would think it's either fake or somebody's watered down version. But let's go on a quick break. When we come
Fiona
back,
says she has seen the 500.
oh really?
YouTube. She says
I've not seen
she
any.
has seen the 500.
I've not seen any. But I hear that they are spraying it at parties already. But when we come back, we'll talk about that. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Not the one I say. Thanks for staying with us. We have Oge from London. Thanks for calling. Are you there?
Yes, I am here.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just trying to contribute to this your discussion, which is very interesting. Yeah, when they thought of changing. Yes, I'm here. Good morning.
Listen to me, not the TV, please.
It's okay. When this idea of redesigning came up, I was thinking the whole thing was going to be a big change. When you redesigning a currency, I'm talking to you. You have to do away with even the pictures, the colors, and every other thing, because the crooks who are counterfeiting the dollars, I mean the naira, they already have your template. They already have the template to copy whatever the government is going to come up with. As far as I'm concerned, redesigning means everything, changing the pictures and even the images in the currency. That is just it.
Okay, thank you, Oge. You're right. I mean, so is it possible, YK? Let me just, because I have to always play the devil's advocate here.
I will tell you what he said.
Let me try to play the devil's advocate. Let's understand the side of the government. For example, we're all saying cost of governance. We don't have money. Right now, they can't afford, because we do recall that the last currency change they did was quite drastic. They hold a new polymer notes, what's it called?
Polymer
Yeah, the polymer notes, yes. They changed the colors, they changed the currency from the old the 100 naira to the new one. It was a drastic change, so they did the right thing. Is it possible?
Did we
trained-
complain then?
We didn't complain. What I'm
We
saying,
complained about the polymer.
well, we complained then that
No,
it
we
was
didn't.
fading. They have to complain that it was fading. People complained now.
complained about the
Put
polymer.
polymer
complained-
to fire. Polymer was different. But the 100 naira notes, people didn't
The
complain.
point I'm trying to make is
yeah, we complained
well, the issue of the cost
Yes.
of making a drastic change might be significant, such that they say, you know what, because we are trying to curb criminality on the part of the terrorists and all these, let us just do the minimal change that can get this money in is coloring. Let's change the color so at least we can use this to get these terrorists we can find a way to trace and stop. I'm just trying to look at the other side.
This is a real devil's advocate. This is a real devil's advocate.
Yes.
Because if you listen to what Oge said just now,
Yes.
what he said if you keep everything the same,
Yeah.
the people who are counterfeiting the money, they already have the templates. When you just change the color, so all they go and do,
Just change colour.
they will even make their own color finer, sharper. So you will even take the counterfeit one because the one that we are seeing is looking faded. So if you are going to change money, change everything. Now, the reason we complained about the 50 naira and the 20 naira in those days was because when you have had if you have the 50 naira, I have the 50 naira, I can show you. When you have had it for some weeks, it fades. That same money, they have it in the pound. You can hold it for 10 years. It will still be like that. It will still be like that.
Please stop comparing UK and Nigeria. Let's
I'm
go on a
not
break.
comparing-
Let's go on a break.
I said people are comparing them. Say everybody, the whole world is cashless.
Yes, the whole world is cashless. Because we will not be like primitive
So we are
people.
doing like England.
Okay, let me
We
take this
like
call.
cash here.
Let me take this call. Good morning, Hassan. Are you there?
The cash leave.
We are selective in
In our
comparison.
comparison.
Everybody,
Yes,
please, I have a question for CPM governor.
please. Michael,
He has
pass
been
it on.
there- He has been there for over 8 years now. Please change of money. Why now?
Last minute.
And they gave a reason of timing. They gave a reason of counterfeiting. Look, what is the job at NFIU that is domiciled with him, CGN? The job of NFIU is intelligence to go after the counterfeiters. Now, you are just changing the color. It's just for them to go and do the coloring. And people have already developed a kind of fear for the money. They prefer the old note than the new note because the counterfeits are on display now in the society. So the problem now is this. People should do their job. Go for the counterfeiters. What is the job of NFIU? Look, I see nothing why we should be talking about counterfeit while we have agencies responsible for that. It's a shame on this government.
Thank you, Hassan.
Also,
I didn't really hear what he said.
He says the job of dealing with this is that of the NSIU, and it took MFLA 8 years. He's been there this long. It took him until now to change the notes. Why now and why not when it was done? There was no perfect job, that will show.
They said it, they've given us reasons to counter inflation, terror. There's an objective. There's an objective for this change.
Yeah.
It wasn't because just they woke up one morning and said, let's change the Naira notes.
Yeah.
They're having issues because many of these criminal elements are using cash, are passing cash around.
We're missing what Miriam
so
said earlier.
also-
Sorry, Miriam. What she mentioned that it was printed here. When we do things outside, we give them good parameters and things are done. Do you know we changed 100 naira during the centenary celebration just a few years ago? Not even take and the
Not
quality.
changing 100 Naira now.
No, I'm saying the quality of the centenary copy that was printed, that we did.
Years, yeah.
It was so good, and the durability and everything. And then we now go and do 1,000 2 or 3 years later, and it now looks like this.
It's the same Naira. It's just change the
because it was
color.
printed
Yeah, exactly.
It's the same Naira. They didn't change the
colours,
notes.
it's recoloration.
That
hear
is
anybody.
back to your view, which is it defeats the purpose of protecting, doing it to protect against counterfeiting because you have just made it even easier. I took the story where World Bank was also saying that the timing of this is a bit, it's unfair to many Nigerians who are just struggling already financially. But I'm just thinking that I want to go back to when I was talking about the process that it involves. I know you were trying to make light of it, like why do I need to understand the process? It's important for us to understand the process, to understand the caliber of people that are supposed to be involved in making sure that currency is redesigned and how it's distributed and the awareness that goes out. Because of the way we would, we don't really give respect to people who have gone to the school or who have the experience of doing things in our country. We just sit down, call a group of our friends and families, they do these things. They don't know that there is a process because someone would have mentioned some of these issues that we're having to deal with now. One of the things that they would not want to go back, I think that also the government is seeing now clearly the difference and all the issues, but they won't want to go back because they have spent a lot of money. But to be honest, that from what I've seen so far, an old Naira note is way better. And if I were the government, I would put a stop on this new Naira note. And let's go back to what we've been using for now. Concerning and then concerning the the terrorists and kidnappers, well, beyond making new, printing new monies, because we have heard them, we've had some situations where they're saying that we'll insist that people pay in the new currencies. Beyond, we have to do something beyond that, which is making sure that security is, optimum, which is making sure that military personnel are, well taken care of. They have all that they need. But to just say that this would solve counterfeiting and then you give us something that would even make it easier, just...
And I quickly just take this too. He says, Franklin B. Onoben says, who said we didn't complain when the currency was changed before? Nigerians will complain about everything. They don't need a reason to complain. We don't just like change. Make we dey calm down.
Let's go on a break. When we come back, take more calls. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing the new notes, and we'd really like to hear from our viewers this morning. Call us on 081-270-53687-091-390-76948. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. I saw a report here that was saying that even the party goers are the ones enjoying the new notes because all the sellers of the currency notes, they are the one of the first off-takers of these notes. And they're the ones partying. So if you go to party, I'm going to party this weekend. Maybe I'll see. Yeah, I want to feel it.
So I think that explains why there's a limited, there are limited amounts of it for banks to distribute. Because one bank was blocked. People took siege of the bank the moment the start of the deadline, and the bank had to limit them to 2,000 per 10,000 naira each that they took. So I think this explains the scarcity.
Right. Okay, we're going to be wrapping up on this, but I'd like to take a comment on social media. Let us take so that we hear people's views, because the objective of this conversation really is to get Nigerians' perspective so that hopefully governments can hear and then use the feedback appropriately.
Festive Morayo says, it's surprising that people are looking at the advantages of the redesigned or painted currency. Even Sanusi, former CBN governor, has praised it. Then Olorogun says, every single currency in the world has its own counterfeit. No single currency is exempted.
Olorogun says, okay, a lot of videos will be done to discredit the new notes. We are only complaining because the old notes are still in circulation. The citizens of this country can never be satisfied with anything. We always think we have better ideas than those in government.
Well,
sometimes I agree, but with this particular one, I don't agree.
What have you ever agreed with? Like, really, what have we Nigerians ever agreed with? We hardly ever agree. If the government does 100 policies, at least 99.9% of it is bad, according to Nigerians. We don't say it. So, in this situation, however, I think what YK said was extremely valid, and I would like to reiterate for that it should just call this a recoloring. If you do that, it makes things easier and more accepting, especially for those who are totally, are not very... don't have enough access to mainstream media to know the difference. So they are the ones that they need to work out. They want to recolor, they recolor, So once they see a new color, They don't automatically reject it.
That's human.
Yeah.
Accepting it will take a while, adjusting something that it doesn't just happen overnight. I wanted to share a joke when I read that tweet about a friend who was traveling on the Second Mainland Bridge. This is a relief that everybody had celebrated, and he focused on the uncompleted. He said it was 95% complete. And he went to those uncompleted there and did video and said, see, the bridge is not even yet complete.
Yeah.
Well, I know.
That's the Nigerian factor there.
You do that.
Yes.
Can I take two tweets?
Okay.
Rolake says, the new note is an example of moving from an old house to a new house and arranging the new house the same as the old house, as the new house looks, except painting. That is why our system of governance has not changed, because we only changed the color. Then Immaculate Boy says, we have an apathy towards change as Nigerians. I was young when we changed currency color in '84. It was greeted with confusion, but after a while we got used to it. The same way it will happen now. YK may attest.
But I think that when this current old news that's phasing out came out, we didn't complain.
Eh?
It was accepted.
On this table,
yes.
there was serious complaint.
No,
What?
you couldn't have known now.
What?
You were not there.
I'm
That
talking
was
about
20 years
the
ago.
polymer. I'm talking about the
No,
polymer.
Yeah, it's Polymer that had
Polymer.
criticism because it was
And he
changed.
still has the criticism.
Yes, now to tomorrow.
And for 50 naira, you haven't seen 50
I just
naira
sent it
naira.
like that.
In fact,
I kept a copy of the old 50
they have,
naira note just
I will show you. I have 50 naira in my car. I will show you. It's dirty and washed up.
Yes.
Let me take this
And it was
call
because they
from
started Polymer in the UK.
Joss.
Started
Good
Polymer.
morning, Bob.
The copy no go finish us.
Hey, my sister, how are you?
You're live. Go ahead. Thanks for calling. Fine.
Yeah, greetings to your colleagues there.
Yes.
I think all of you really look
Yeah,
like
greeting you
real
back.
African ladies.
Yes.
You are real school African ladies. Very
I'm a
beautiful
China today.
I hope they can put your image on the naira we are talking about.
Hey.
We really demonstrate Nigerian African ladies, how they look like, very
Yes.
beautiful.
Thank you, Mr. Bob.
Okay, my sister. I think all this color of the chin of this our naira, had it been the color has come in the color of Nigerian the color, that is green, white, green. It would have been better. If our naira can carry that Nigerian color, green, white, green, it would have been better. But that now is done. It doesn't withstand, as a matter of fact, because color or no color does not reduce the value of the money. It doesn't reduce the value of the 500 naira or the 1,000 naira or the 200 naira. The color does not reduce the value. So let us stop emphasizing on this. My area of concern is that if you can eradicate vote buying, you understand me? If you can stop vote buying for this period of election, I think it should be okay. Thereafter, they can come back to the normal things that the naira stands for.
Right.
So that is my position.
All right, sir. Thank you so much.
And Nam says, this note change has been chaotic. Emefiele needs to relax and not rush people to cashless. They don't have internet stability for them to force cashless on people. Nonsense.
Okay, I think we can wrap up on this. So we wanted to hear from Nigerians, their thoughts and views about this Naira notes, but I once again reiterate the fact that, yes, there was an objective towards this. They said to curb inflation, counter terrorism, to reduce the risk of terrorism, kidnapping, especially because of the criminal elements, as I said earlier, use cash. And that was one of the reasons why they had to change the notes. But Nigerians were expecting something more significant, but it was more like a color change. So we're saying that for the information to go out to disseminate faster to all the various levels in our country, maybe if they had come across with a new color code or new color change campaign, people then understand it, they're expecting change. And they're expecting only color change. And when they see the color, they don't immediately reject it, because then it's counterproductive, because you're trying to curb counterfeiting, but yet now you've actually made it easier by just changing the color. So hopefully that the government can get this feedback. I'm not sure what they can do with this, but at least we've expressed our views on this. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll bring in our guests. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us on this segment. We'll be talking about the safety of lives and properties during the yuletide season. Joining us on the show is the Police Public Relations Officer, CSP Olumuyiwa Adejobi. He'll be sharing some salient security tips around yuletide, new ways of or approaches by which criminality-minded persons are using to defraud, kidnap, and rob unsuspecting Nigerians. Welcome with us, CSP Olumuyiwa. Good morning, sir. Are you there?
Good morning. I'm here with you.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good to have you on the show. So
Yes.
the holidays are here. Many people are traveling, and road work has been ongoing for a while. We're happy that the Lagos-Ibadan, for example, has been cleared. We hear that the second Niger bridge has also been opened. So generally across the country, it looks like some major roads have been opened. But there are still criminal elements that take advantage of some of the traffic into various towns. What are some of the tips you'd like to give us to stop or reduce these being victims of these criminal elements?
Well, I bring warm tidings from the Office of the Inspector General of Police from Lucede House in Abuja to all Nigerians and residents of this country. I want to share with us some security tips that we might likely need at this yuletide period. Most of us that we travel from one point to another, we need to take note of certain things, particularly some of us are on the way that we drive, and some of us are commuters. There are so many things we need to take into consideration. This time around, we know that people have come back from diaspora, from abroad. They want to come to Nigeria to come and enjoy the beautiful things we have in this country. So we'll be traveling from one point to another, particularly most of our cities that have airports. People land, they want to move from airports to various locations in the north, in the south, in the south, in the central. We need to be very, very careful. Like I always say, when you want to drive, don't drink. That's number one thing if you want to be a good driver. Don't drink so that you can have 100% concentration. If that one is gone, every other thing will be normal. If you are not drunk and as a driver you are looking at a crowd at a distance, you'll be able to reason on time that who are these people on the road? Are they police? Are they Nigerian? Are they soldiers? Are they armed robbers? You'll be able to conclude on time because your mental alertness is perfect. So when you want to drive, don't drink. When you get to your home, you can drink. You get to club, you can drink. Whatever you want to do, you can do. And when you drive, watch your speed, not your time. Watch your speed, not your time. It's not that you're watching your time, oh, the next 5 minutes I have to be there. That will ginger you to overspeed. And I see generally now in Nigeria that the statistics I have is showing to me that we have more high mortality rates connected to road crashes. Not even insecurity this time around. On daily basis, we record fatal accident cases that are worrisome to me as a person and worrisome to us in the Nigerian police force as a responsible security institution. So we want people to take note of this. When you want to drive, don't drink. When you want to drink, don't drive. And when you drive, watch your speed, but not your time. And of course, when you are moving on the road, we have tried our best to talk to commissioners of police and supervisory IGs to register most of our security, let me say checkpoint or observation point, so that when Nigerians approach any point, they will easily notice that these are genuine police officers, these are genuine Nigerian Army soldiers, these are genuine NDLA officials, these are genuine road safety officials that are on the road and doing their genuine works. So we try to make sure that we register and we have approved observation points, approved stop and start points across the country, as directed by the IGP, that all commissioners of police must take note of this. We don't want to hear our men are on the road on mufti, and that is why we thought or we think there are no policemen and we are confused, or policemen that are not properly dressed. And that's why the message is still going out now. Another statement will still go out that every policeman that wants to be on the road to flag down any vehicle, any Nigerian, must dress properly. We don't want to see T-shirts. We don't want to see a crested shirt, hawk, thunder, snake. So we want Nigerians to know that these are genuine points so they will not be confused when they see our men on the road. And please avoid night movement. Avoid night movement. Anywhere you are, when it is 6:30, just park look for one good hotel to stay. And of course, don't go to hotel. Oh. I'm saying you should look for a good hotel
Okay.
to stay.
Let me get a few more
Don't go
questions
to
in
this
for you.
hotel where they spend 1 hour, 2 hours. Please go ahead.
Okay, so for me, my question is, our country, as we know, we are going through serious security challenges. And we've always had during the festive seasons, our family members who live in various states traveling back home. And for those who live abroad, coming home. But there are so many people that are afraid. So the usual sentiments of be careful, be careful. I would like to hear the police say to Nigerians, home and abroad, that we are doing our best to keep you safe, to make sure that you can still come home and enjoy with your family, even though there are issues here and there. That is what I would like a positive message to say the police is putting this and this in place to ensure that we can still celebrate Christmas with our families, no matter where we are, we can still come back home.
Well, if you got my message clearly there, I used a tone to kill two birds. While telling them that they should be careful, I think I mentioned that we're having men at various points along the highways across the country, and that we have put measures in place for us to make sure our men are easily identified by any motorist.
Okay.
So it's to show that we have done deployments along highways. But I'm telling them to know things they should know in case they get to any point. If they see police, the so-called policemen or mufti, they should ask questions. If they're actually policemen, I'm just trying to let them know that we have even put measures in place while we are deploying our men across length and breadth of Nigeria. We want Nigerians to know again that we have put these measures on ground. For every policeman to come on the road, the authority you have as a policeman, the authority you have as a road safety official, the authority you have as a soldier, the authority you have as NDLA official to stand on the road and flag down Nigerians, and you want them to obey you, is that you must be an unidentified operative, security operative, who has dressed according to the provisions of the dress code, and it varies. So
I have a lot of questions for you, so I don't want us to repeat that. Let me tell the other ladies, because we have so many questions for you, and we have a little time. Go ahead.
Yeah, because you were saying that if it's late, if we shouldn't drive at night, and if we are caught at night, we should park and stay at a hotel. Sometimes the traffic, you will be in traffic, night will meet you there. Morning will almost meet you there. What do you do inside the traffic? There's no hotel on Third Mainland Bridge, for instance.
Well, we noticed that there are some towns that are synonymous with traffic. For instance, Lagos. So within Lagos, the IGP has told CP Lagos, that is within Lagos, I'm saying now, before I go to across the country, to deploy, because we hear and we read cases of traffic robbery here and there, and it's not a new thing anyway. So it's always been like that in Lagos. So the IGP has advised and commanded the CP Lagos to see how they can deploy the plainclothesmen and to use more bikes, because it's not going to be reasonable if we deploy patrol vans to go and monitor traffic. How does he want to ply the road too? Because it's going to be in the gridlock. So I think they have designed means of curtailing that in Lagos. And on most of our highways, that when we get to some places, bad portions, obstructions, most times you see that these heavy trucks, they fall and block the expressway, and they cause untold hardship, unnecessary gridlock. What we have told, the IGP just had a meeting with commissioners of police, AIGs and above, on, I think, last Thursday or Wednesday, where he made it clear to them that anywhere you think we need to be proactive this time around, anywhere you notice there's heavy traffic, let your tactical commanders deploy their men to that place. He had a meeting with commanders PMF. He had a meeting with Commander CTU, that's counter-terrorism unit. He had a meeting with the EOD and even border patrols, because we need to consider our border areas now. And with this, we think we have done what we should at the force headquarters. We continue to keep a tab on some of these deployments we do, to have proper monitoring. And let me quickly say again that on the waterways, because we are all talking of traffic, we are not considering the waterways now. It's because we have taken note that we need to fortify our waterways. That's why the IGP, with the approval of the president, quickly procured some gunboats to add to what we have. We're having almost 30 gunboats now on our waterways across the country, particularly where we have riverine areas. And we have deployed them accordingly to assist, because we have noticed that sometimes these bad elements will come in from the riverine to come to the inland to come and cause trouble. We have taken note of this, and we are releasing our choppers too to give support. We know it's expensive to fly now, but it's a thing we must do. We have taken the bull by the horn to make sure we do everything possible to enjoy this yuletide period. So the IGP has engaged the AIG, Air Wing, and other pilots to see what we can do. We have our drones that will assist them. We are doing that. Anywhere, we have told our CPs, anywhere they have issues of security challenges that will warrant us to give them air support, they should please contact us on time. So we want Nigerians to know that we have done this deployment. And you know we cannot have 100% perfection in everything we do. Even when God wanted to create man, there was no 100% perfection. That's why we don't have the same cranial capacity as human beings.
All right,
so
let me get a few more questions in for you, sir. Go ahead, Nima.
So I'm hearing, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
Compliments of the season, sir. I'm hearing, deployments and deployments at this time, and I'm concerned about the welfare of the officers who will be away from families and securing our roads. What provisions is the IG making, for instance, to ensure that they're also celebrating and that, they are not overworked, there are no burnouts at work? Because some of the videos that trended in the past, I excuse them based on burnout. So somebody is visiting the Harmattan, for instance, takes it out on a road user or another citizen because he's in uniform. Are you doing anything as regards their welfare to prevent all of these past experiences?
Well, the word welfare here is a relative term, but I want to believe that let us come to this context of this discussion, because welfare is a very broad thing that we cannot, even if we have 3 hours on this program,
let's restrict it to the celebration,
the
Christmas
problem of
season.
welfare.
Let's restrict it to this season.
That's what I'm trying to do now. So now that we have the salary is welfare, emolument is welfare, allowance is welfare. But for special duties, we have allowances for special duties. And one good news now is the IGP has been able to get a huge amount of money for special duty allowances alone. And I'm sure the AIG budget, the new AIG budget now, Mohammed Ishaku CP is working with the AIG. They have a meeting yesterday to see what we can do for our men that will leave other states or other zones to go and assist their colleagues in other states. These are the ones that might. These are the ones.
What about scheduling so that they don't overwork? Maybe a few hours and then the shift takes turns.
So every special duty we have shifting. If you are visiting police officer to a state, you have your own schedule. What your commander will agree with that CP. Because we are moving some officers from one state to another, from one squadron, particularly PMF, to go and help in some other areas, based on the request of these CPs. There are some CPs that have written to the IGP that they want additional men for social reason and also reason. So these men, once you have moved from one state to another, you are entitled to your allowance. And this is what the IGP has been doing. But if you are in your state, you are working in Ondo, you are working in Zamfara, and your CP has deployed you to work in Zamfara, I don't think we are going to give any special duty allowance to anybody there. But if you are moving from one state to another, we have what we call DTA, digital allowances. These allowances are for you, and you are going to get your allowances as and when due. But people now, let me clarify it, that they will be calling PROs, or they will be saying another one blogger will come tomorrow that the IGP is winning them. No. If you are within your state and you have been deployed within your state, there's no allowance for you for that duty.
All right.
But if somebody has moved from one state to another, they're entitled to allowances. Let me clarify it now.
Let me go on a break. When I come back, we'll continue with our conversation with you. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thank you for staying with us. We still have CSP Olumuyiwa Adejobi with us, calling from Abuja. Sir, I would like to create a few scenarios because Nigerians usually understand their realities. So let's just put this picture in place. There's a car with 4 young men hanging out, and then they're stopped by a police officer who is in a uniform, but he has about 3 or 4 others who are not in uniform around him. So these are also police officers, but they're not dressed in uniform. He's the only one who is dressed in uniform. Now he's seeing them and he's approaching them. He's afraid because he feels that, okay, this is only one police. I'm not sure. I don't understand what's going on here because these are not uniform policemen. And then he refuses to stop. Or even when he stops, he's only so ready to leave. And he doesn't want to listen to the policeman because he feels a bit fearful. In that case, what do you think he should do? Or what would you advise the police to do in that situation?
Well, when you get to a point in a team, you must have 1 or 2 officers that are easily identifiable.
Okay.
If you get to a team, if others are on shirt, crested shirt, at least you have 1 or 2 that are on normal uniform. They are police. Definitely, they will be policemen. What we don't want is where all of them will just be on mufti or just t-shirt and face cap and be like touts on the road. We don't want
So
that.
if we see that,
And
do
I
we
want to
stop or
say
move on, Mr.
that at every point,
Let's take it small by small. If I see all of them and they're telling me they have that thing they hold, the button they hold, and they're trying to stop me and they're all in mufti, can I just drive through?
Well, I think at every point we should have police vehicle, marked vehicle at every point. Any point on the highway you get to, and you don't have police vehicle, marked vehicle parked.
I can't hear it. Slow now. I can't hear you.
And the men are on mufti. And the men are on mufti.
I heard you.
I think we need to be very, very careful here. Can you hear that?
We're having difficulty hearing you, sir. Maybe our viewers can hear you, but go ahead, please.
What I'm trying to say.
Yes.
What I'm trying to say is when you get to a point, you see policemen, all of them on mufti,
right,
and there's no vehicle, police marked vehicle,
yeah,
to show that these are policemen. I don't advise us to wait for them.
Okay.
It might be dangerous.
Okay.
But what we have now is our men that are going out must properly dress, okay, must go to that point with at least a marked vehicle. There's no urgency in it that I want to go to the road and you don't have a vehicle. They must be marked. Either you're going to see Divisional Police Headquarters, Uromi, Edo State, or Edo State Police Command, or Zamfara Police Command, Operation Adinkai, so area, Operation Adindaji. You are going to see clearly that these are marked vehicles, and for them to be on that road, they must go with that marked vehicle to the road. Okay. For people to know that this is a genuine police point or any security operative, go and check it. Any security operative that's going to stand on the highway, the authority you have to stand on the highway and stop Nigerians is the authority of being on uniform or being a security operative that has the paraphernalia on him at that point in time. If I wear mufti with face cap and I go to the road, people will not stop for me. They may not honor me when I find them down.
We have a lot of questions.
So
let me throw a few more questions. You've answered that question. Go ahead, Waike, please.
Are checkpoints still illegal?
No. They are legal.
They are legal now.
But you know, let me clarify this. We are having almost four concepts when you are talking about roadblock. We have what we call observation points. These are observation points, the vehicle will park. The men will sit somewhere in the vehicle and open their doors. They are observing. This is one. Two, we have what we call the checkpoints, stop and search points. Stop and search point is they are going to be on the road. They will stop the vehicles, check the occupants for possible recovery of any incriminating items. That is one. The checkpoint two is similar to observation point. The men will stand. They watch. They may not flag down any vehicle. If they think they want to flag down any vehicle, they can approach the road, flag down, take that vehicle off the road, question the occupants or the driver. Then we have the fourth one is what we call roadblock. Roadblock is what we don't like, and we discourage our officers mounting roadblock. Okay. Roadblock is zigzag form. You are going to see log of wood. You are going to see drums.
Right.
You must move zigzag when you get to what we call roadblock. And roadblock in Nigeria today are reduced. You
Removed.
cannot see a roadblock on the highway without the approval of the governor of that state and the IGP, and by extension, the commissioner of police in that
Right.
state must be aware of that roadblock. So these are the 4 terms that we use interchangeably
Okay.
and causing confusion.
All right,
For
CSP,
you
let
to
me
get
throw in
them
a question
after the
because
other.
a lot of parents watch. You have a question?
Yes,
Okay, go
please. CSP, I would like to understand, some of the things we hear, especially young drivers, especially our young and male Nigerian drivers, they always tend to have a lot of clash with the police. And one of the things is this checking their laptops and their phones. Please, could you tell us here on TV right now if it is acceptable to be stopped and immediately asked to search your laptop and your phone? And in a situation when that is done, what that driver is meant to do?
We have said this on several occasions. We have made official statements to that effect. That is illegal. And I'm sure you know that an officer has been dismissed because of that. Checking of phones, checking of laptops. It is not proper. It is unprofessional. You can't stop anybody, any Nigerian or anybody whatsoever, and you start searching his phone on the road. No. You can only have access and break the principle of privacy into anybody's gadgets when there's a case on ground, you are investigating, and that gadget is subject to investigation, and it must have been marked exhibit. You can only have access to people's phones, gadgets, laptops, when those items are marked exhibits in a case
Right.
under investigation, not on the road. You can't tell me you are investigating a case on the road. No, it's unprofessional, it's bad. Our Nigerians, we have engaged them. You see that on social media everywhere. I've told them, and we have shared numbers
Right.
of PROs across the country. We have shared numbers of DPOs.
Hello? CSP, are you there? You gotta be there. Hello, sir. Oh, yikes, we've lost him. I really wanted to ask a question. I just hope I can get him back quickly. Because many parents are worried, especially for the nightclubs. You know, your kids are back home from abroad, they're hanging out with their friends and go to nightclubs, and then you hear that they've rallied some kids up and they're all taking them to police station. I need to know exactly on what basis will the police come to a nightclub to arrest people. What kind of young child see, or a teenager or a young adult see to know that there's danger here, let me leave here, the police might be here. You know, these are the tips that we need. Road tips are great, but there's some tips that we need within parties, when you go to clubs, when you're hanging out, public places. These are some of the information we need from CSP, and I hope we can reconnect with him because the show is almost over, but it'd be good to really hear from him. Any comments on social media?
Could Funky Flex says, when we approach the checkpoint, I think he answered that. When we approach the checkpoints with the police not properly dressed or security personnel not properly dressed, what should we do?
And let me just reiterate what he said. He said that if there is a marked vehicle, there's a possibility there are police, then you stop. But if there are no marked vehicles, it's dangerous for you to stop because you can't be verified that they're police officers because they're supposed to be in their proper uniforms. They're out there, then you don't have to stop. Any other comments?
That's all.
That's it? Okay, I think we can wrap up the show. We're really trying to. Okay, so hello, CSP, are you there?
I'm back.
Oh,
Thank you.
fantastic. Did you hear my question when you went off on TV?
I did not.
Okay, let me tell you what I asked. I was concerned about the children who are coming home for holidays, meeting up with their friends, going to clubs, and just even the children in Nigeria also going to clubs, having a great time for the season. And then they come in and the police comes, rallies people, and they round up the kids and take them to police saying that, oh, there's allegations of maybe drug use or something. What can our teenagers or our youngsters who are going to parties, and even adults going to parties during this season, what should they look out for at the clubs and parties that they might have to leave or excuse themselves before the police comes? Or what can a parent do in case where police rounds up people? What are the procedure in getting your kids back home? Could you just give us an idea?
Yes. Let me clarify this. We have just told you now that we are going to have heavy deployments across the country. There is no how we will not be coming across police officers and men on the road. I want to appeal to our young Nigerians that when you come home and you want to go and seek your phone, when they stop you, please stop for them. Most times you see that these people are traveling is within the town, within cities, big city like that, we always have issues like this. When you are coming from the club, the impression is perhaps you are high to an extent, and you are high to an extent, and you want to charge, you want to do this. Please don't do that to any security operatives on duty. Attend to them, respect them. But if you think the argument is odd, don't argue with them. Even if they want to take you away from that point, it's even better for you to go to their formations. If they say, okay, let's go to station, go. I always tell people, when you want to go out or you want to live well and you want to be more secure in the country, don't want unnecessary harassment from anybody, contact us. People have been contacting us. We have shared numbers of officers to everybody. Call us. We always ask them questions. Okay, these men, what have they done? We know the language. We know how to handle them. Don't fight anybody. Be polite with them. Don't be rude to them. Don't let them hold you by your words. That is the truth. When they are abusing you, don't even abuse them. Just be calm. Because you know you are definitely going to get across to us. I don't like situation whereby you are fighting policemen and you are calling me to come and intervene. You are fighting road safety officials, you want me to come and intervene. You are having fighting last month, you want me to come and intervene. To be begging them on phone or what, or to appeal to them, no. Let us be courteous when they approach us. We are going to circulate numbers of all the DPOs, area commanders.
Circulate numbers where? On social media, where? Where?
Everywhere, every platform.
Everywhere is not anywhere.
Social media platform.
Okay.
It's everywhere on social media platform, for individuals, to groups, platforms, WhatsApp platforms. We have shared enough number of people have some.
All right.
But for those that are coming into Nigeria from abroad now, we are going to recirculate this for them to have these phones handy and talk to us. But the major thing is that when they stop you on duty, do not engage them on unreasonable activity.
Thank you so much, CSP Olumuyiwa Adejobi. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. As he said, when they stop you, please stop. If they say they're going to take you to the station, please follow them. Just make sure you have one or two people along with you. But the important thing is go, because it's better that way. And let's also tell our wards that are coming home to respect the rule of law in our country. That's all we can take on today's show. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.